Hello everybody and welcome to the first part of making Spinball Whizzer. As many of you already know, Loakin is doing a full Alton Towers Recreation at the moment, and he's moved on to another project called Community Canyon for about a week. So to keep the progress of the Alton Towers Recreation going, he's handed the part over to me to make Spinball Whizzer. I'm only going to be doing the track work and a bit of training this video, so with that being said, let's get straight into the time lapse. So here you can see me starting off with the terrain around the pre-drop before it goes into the lift hill. Loakin has already done most of the terrain for me because he needed it to line up perfectly with the terrain for X sector. And if some of you have probably already noticed, the station is just way too big. I don't know why Frontier have made them like massive but it's just really annoying. I'm gonna have to make the whole building larger than it's meant to be because if the entrance to Spinball just came straight in, then it wouldn't have been an issue. I could have just hid the rest of the station in the trees, but the entrance to Spinball is on the side of the building, so I'm gonna have to make the whole thing just much bigger, which is quite annoying. And the fact that I want to get it as accurate as possible is just even more annoying. I am going to be putting as much effort into this as possible, while still taking into account the fact that I need to not overuse pieces. I tend to do that a lot, so I need to make sure I don't do that this time. Speaking of overusing pieces, for those who already watched my videos and they've watched my Colossus showcase video, that you would know that I've announced a full foot park recreation. So if you do have any questions about that, leave them in the comments of this video. And I also wanted to ask, what area or coaster would you like to see me build first? I will be starting off with the entrance and the dome, but when I'm branching off into different areas, I just want to know what you would like to see first. Anyway, as you can see, I have now moved on to the track work. I actually quite enjoy Spinball Whizzer. It's quite a fun experience. Because Spinball is in a relatively small area, I reckon there will only be like 3 episodes of me working on this, but it really shouldn't take more than a week to finish anyway. I think the thing that's going to take the most amount of time is just doing the supports. Although this is a spinning coaster, I'm still going to make it as smooth as possible, and I'm probably going to have to mostly use TNTK pieces for this, and possibly even just use, well, for the queue, the picket fences I think they're called, because usually for recreations it's the queue that is the worst for piece count. I think for Colossus the queue only managed to get to 1,000 pieces, so hopefully, because Spinball's queue is smaller, it shouldn't get anywhere near that. Now you can see me doing a block section. I have actually managed to isolate the sound that the trim brakes make, because the sound they make for Spinball Whizzer is a very distinct sound. So later in this video you will see me get out some display sequencers and place the sound on there. I'm using display sequencers instead of trigger speakers because after a while trigger speakers just stop working for no reason, and sometimes it sounds like they're off in the distance, like really far away. They're really broken in this game. But the only issue I have with using the display sequencers is that they can be a bit loud and echoey, but that's just something you've got to deal with. Yeah, so at the moment you can see me doing the sound for the lift hill. I managed to find some clean audio of the lift hill, so that's just another detail to add in, which is, with all the sound effects going, it does sound pretty cool. Although this will add a tiny bit to the pieces, I will be doing the catwalks myself for the block sections, because as you can see here, it just did not want to go on the right way. Same for the lift hill. The catwalk for that doesn't even have any supports to it, so it's just levitating, and you can't even remove it, and in real life it's on the opposite side. So, oh, Frontier, what are you doing? Please fix your game. Anyway, Here I'm just adjusting the banking for the first little drop. Usually when I build coasters I never get the banking with anything right the first time, so I have to keep readjusting everything. Usually I have to change things halfway through my recreations, but that's only because I want to make it accurate. These Immelman turns are a bit annoying to do. It kept exceeding the limits and the shaping was just annoying, so I kept redoing those a lot. Yeah, you can see it's just not going well for me. I did get them right eventually, but it's as good as you're going to get for Planet Coaster, really. The coaster builder in this game, I don't find it that bad. For some people it can be really annoying. The only time I find it really annoying is mostly when I'm doing loops, believe it or not. I usually copy the in-game loops and then just smooth them afterwards, but sometimes for no reason it will just tell you that it exceeds the limits. Even when you just turn that setting off, it still exceeds the limits. So I don't really know what the purpose of that setting is, but it's just there. While I start on this second block section, I just want to welcome everyone that has joined from Loakin's channel. These videos won't be daily, unfortunately. I don't know how he manages to pump those videos out. I just physically won't be able to do that, but I will try to get them out as frequently as possible. Usually I upload on the weekends and on Wednesdays, but yeah, either way I still do try to get at least 2 videos that week. In a moment you're going to see me make the second turnaround, but one thing I do want to mention is that I did have to change the friction multiplier down a little bit. Some people think that's cheating. I don't think it's cheating, because when you're doing recreations, one of the most important things about doing coasters is that you get the pacing right of it. So after I finished this, I did compare this to the POV of it. When I changed the friction multiplier down by a little bit, it is surprisingly close to the real thing. Obviously the spinning isn't going to be the exact same, because Planet Coaster, like the way it calculates that is just a bit weird. But anyway, apart from me finishing the track layout and doing a few sound effects, this is all I'm going to be doing for the rest of the video, so I'm going to leave you now with some lovely Alton Towers music, and I'll see you in the next video of making Spinball Whizzer. Goodbye.
you